So now that you guys were able to finish up finding your own 5 homes across the country and sort of found those breakdowns and also researched a couple jobs to see what you could if you could afford any of those homes, you guys are now going to use that same bank rate calculator. So go ahead and click on that link and open it up. And you guys are going to look at 3 different people's financial situation, put it in that calculator, and start trying to see what is their best path forward and getting a house and making sure they can afford those monthly payments. So we're first going to start with Tremaine. Wants a 1-bedroom house in a trendy new development. Average cost is $145,000, and is pre-approved from his bank to get a 4.38% interest rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage, which is a pretty good rate. And he has saved $15,000 for a down payment. So we're going to take that information and bring it on over to type in here. The house costs $145,000. Down payment was $15,000, which this website says was about 10.3%, which is a little bit lower than what we were finding last week, where you guys were finding a 15% down payments. We need to remember this is a 30-year mortgage with 4.38% interest. So that's already 30 years. Change that to 4.38. And voila, it spits out that 810 option. So the monthly payment is $810, which is pretty affordable. I mean, $145,000 is a pretty affordable home price, honestly. And now how much interest will he pay over the course of that 30 years? We can go to this amortization schedule, which is just a fancy way to say a breakdown of the month by month. So we're going to click on that, which you'll see right here, that schedule. Oops. Just clicking on it once. Then when we scroll down here, you get this chart of how much your payment is going toward the principal of your loan or the interest from the bank. And you'll see as you want to scroll down all the way. Oh, my little face is going to be in the way. All the way down. Oops. Until the very, very bottom of that chart. Make sure you don't scroll too far down like I just did. So there's the bottom of my chart. So at the end of that 30 years, the balance goes down to 0, which means they don't owe the bank anything. So we can now see how much money was paid in interest to the bank, that big number here, and then how much actually went to the principal. Then if you add those two together, that's how much you actually paid for that house, or Tremaine paid for that house. So even though it said that the house was $145,000, once you borrowed that and paid it back over time, the bank made $103,977 in interest. So that final number there is going to be what we type in into our document. $103,977. Okay. So they made a lot of money off of you over those 30 years. But that's pretty typical with home loans. Since it's so much time and so much money, the bank really charges a lot of interest there. But now we're going to have a slightly different situation. Well, what if he waited until he had $30,000? We're going to go change that down payment to $30,000, keep everything else the same. So we can now compare his monthly payment and interest and how much did he save by increasing his down payment to $30,000. So we'll go back to the calculator and scroll all the way back up. Oh, get my little face out of the way. And now we're going to change his down payment to $30,000 instead. If I change that to $30,000, that doubles the down payment, so it's more of a 20% down payment, which is much better than the 10%. His monthly payment is $735 in this case. Not too bad. Now we're going to go back to that same amortization schedule so we can see the total interest, which is already clicked there for me. So I just need to go back down to that chart. And once again, scroll, all the way down until you can't anymore. There's also a little scroller over there if you can find it. So then you can click on it and just scroll to the very, very bottom until you see that the balance is 0, which means that you fully paid off the 30 years of that loan. And the number right next to it is the interest that was paid to the bank over that 30 years. So $92,024. So still quite a lot, but definitely less than when we just had $15,000 for a down payment. So then how much money did he save by paying that extra 15 grand up front? where we are going to subtract the original interest from the new amount of interest. So if you guys open up your calculator and subtract those two numbers, we will get that by paying that extra bit up front, this person saved almost $12,000, $11,953 in interest. So they saved quite a bit of money over that 30 years. You guys are going to do this for the next two people, where you're going to sort of take what the information is and start deciding, well, how can they best make decisions for their house and their mortgage?